resource that's needed right now with Savvas Realize is we need the text to be able to be translated into Spanish. What I'm going to show you today is using the Safari app, and it's a pretty easy way for students working on iPad to take their text from Savvas and translate it into Spanish. So right now I have a text from Savvas Realize showing on iPad, the same view that the students would have. A couple of the things we noticed right away that we can do to make it a little easier and a little more readable is get some of these things like the banner at the top out of the way. We can also remove that essential question. And so in order for us to be able to translate, we need to be able to select the text we want to translate. The problem is in this view of Savvas, when I select it with that blue highlighting, a special tool comes up to highlight, circle, and underline, and that doesn't allow us to use the commands from the iPad. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go up to the address bar at the top. You see the two letter A's on the left-hand side of the address bar. When we tap there, it's going to give us a reader view. And the reader view strips everything away from the web page except for the text, and that's really what we want the students to focus on. So now that we have this text that we're working on up in reader view, what I'm going to do is press and hold and select in blue the first two paragraphs. Now that I've done that, you'll see that a black bar with commands like copy, look up, and translate come up above the text. So I'm going to go ahead and use the translate. Now what you'll see is that when the translate callout window comes up, in the black font we see the English version, paragraphs 1 and 2, and right below that there's a black play button that will actually allow the text to be dictated where you'll hear it being read. Below that in blue is the Spanish translation, and there's also a play button where you can hear the Spanish version being read as well. Now there's a few other commands at the bottom of this callout window that are helpful. If you want to copy that translation, it can be copied and pasted into another document. We can also change the language if we need to translate into another language. You'll also notice that it says Open and Translate at the bottom. This is the iPad Translate app, Apple's version of the Translate app. And you can see my two paragraphs that I chose. Here is the Spanish translation. If I want to save this translation, all I have to do is hit this favorite star, and over here under all favorites, I'm going to find that particular translation. So if there's a text that students might need to use often, this would be a good place where they could save that translation and reference it later. So this is a pretty simple way, if students learn this process, that they can take their Pearson Realize text and translate it easily into Spanish.